What's good, y'all? It's your boy Deuce with the Düsse Dialogue. Today I got some good old friends back from high school. My boy Niral, my boy Ilias, and today they brought a guest as well, the boy Phil. So today we're going to talk about their backstories and how they got started in their industry and how they can probably put y'all on to what they found out or maybe just talk about their interest in their industry and show their wealth. So you guys can take it away, introduce yourselves.
My name is Niral Desai. So I started making music earlier this year in March. The story behind it is pretty much Ilias, my boy. We follow each other on Snapchat, and I was posting freestyles and just songs that are written down on my Snapchat, and he called me out, was like, yo, I think you should go to the studio and make these songs actual like reality instead of just putting on Snapchat. So I went and got connected through Ilias with Infamous Gabe. From there, I bought some beats from him and we just ran it up, did our thing. I see an engineer in Herndon. His name is Rosnick. So we started making music from there, and then the rest is history. But so right now, I work currently at a business. I have a check cashing shop in Chantilly, as well as I do the music on the, like, not on the side, but with it as like a joint type of career. So.
That's tough. And what about you, Ilias? What you got going on?
For me, I do like content creation online, and then I also run TCC Entertainment, which is like a media company, and so that does like video and event production, and then digital marketing, and then a tech startup as well, which basically helps like artists find like bookings. So you know how there's like Indeed, when a job or when a company needs to hire somebody, they go out and they put like a job posting. Well, there's nothing like that for venues when they're looking for like performers and artists. And a lot of them are willing to book people, they just don't know where to go. And so Tapped basically allows artists to apply to venues to perform. And then those are the two startups that I'm working on and have been doing full time for a little bit now. And that's how Phil is involved with us, and that's how we were able to work with Niral. And then also recently dropped in, a book online called Cheat Code. So if they want to check that out, I can send the link. And that just basically gives you advice on like social media and stuff. And then, just like executive production and things like that.
That's so tough. And I actually did a little bit of research about like your whole backstory and stuff. I did not know you were like close to dropping out. Like I thought you just, went in with a vision and like you knew what to do. Like, I didn't know that you were probably like me. I didn't know what to do. I went into college wanting to do international business. Now I come out doing government IT sales. Like, what the heck?
Yeah.
I did my research, and I wanna know, like, how did you flip the script from wanting to drop out to following what your vision was or what it is?
Yeah, I mean, I think for a lot of people, when COVID happened, that's when I was about to finish school, and I was actually talking to my advisor at the time on like how to properly drop out. And not a lot of people knew this. My family didn't know. But because the company was like relatively successful and I was making good money from it at the time, I thought it would be a good choice to do that. But then when COVID happened, I was like, okay, I don't know if this is the right thing to do. And then I really thought about it. I was like, you know what? And this is probably not good advice, but it was the perfect time to cheat in class, maybe. I don't know if that's the right thing to say.
We all did it.
But look, so for me, it just made school much easier just because teachers were a lot more relaxed. They were a lot more understanding, and I had a year left anyways, and I'm glad that I got it done. And that's pretty much it.
Okay. And Phil, on Ilias's journey, where did you come in and then boost what you guys got going on?
So we went to neighboring high school. So like he went to Rockridge, I went to Briarwoods, and then I think I met him at a summer party. And then he was just, I just saw him with the VCU jersey on. I was like, oh, you going to VCU? Oh, bet. Like, I am too. Like, I'll catch you. And like freshman year, I would always just see him in the hallways. He'll just like dap each other, say what's up. He might invite me to a party, but we don't really like hanging out like that. But sophomore year, I don't know what it was. That's when he started TCC Entertainment, which was the Cloud at the time. And I think I had bought like a T-shirt from him. And when I bought that T-shirt from him, we kind of just got into like a really deep discussion about like music, pop culture, and entrepreneurship. And then he kind of just like saw, oh, this guy might be a good fit for the Cloud. And, I just brought up the idea. It was just kind of a silly suggestion. I was just like, oh, maybe I could run the Twitter, but there was somebody else running the Twitter at the time. But I guess he quit or something. And And then he was just like, okay, so you want to run the Twitter? I was just like, oh, I wasn't really being serious, but yeah. And I kind of just took off from there. And then I took over to Instagram. I grew the following. I think it was at like 10,000 followers at the time. Now it's like 165,000 at the time. Yeah. So yeah, that's kind of just what I've been doing. When I have the time, just try and curate as much content and engage the community. Think of new ideas to come up with some new content. I like to write articles for the website too as well. That's kind of my main role. It's kind of like currently that's kind of like a part-time gig that I got right now. Full-time, I work for the U.S. government doing client relations management for the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office. So that's my current venture right now. At the moment, I'm studying data science. I'm working on a certification because the goal for me at the end of the day is kind of combine numerics, metrics, and data, and how I can apply that to the creative space and see how I can come up with strategies to give to media brands like TCC Entertainment or other media brands out there, and see how I can come up with try and come up with creative decisions that I can make, because in the real world when it comes to numbers numbers and creativity don't really go together. So that's kind of my goal, kind of combine the aspects of data science and creativity to come up with creative solutions for media brands.
I like the sound of that. He's a pretty, you know what? That was very well said. No cap.
I'm glad he's on a podcast because Phil is really smart, and a lot of the times he likes to put other people up in the spotlight. But I can speak for Niral and a lot of other people as well. When it comes to creative decision making or just running ideas, he's a lot of the times pitching ideas for people and letting them know, but he's not getting the credit because he's the one who's behind the scenes, so nobody knows that he's doing it. But I call him the mastermind. A lot of the times he comes up with a lot of stuff that, and he doesn't. I'm surprised he's even on the podcast. I'm glad that he's on the podcast.
I wasn't even prepared
because they're gonna see how much of a mastermind he really is.
Everybody give Phil his flowers.
Give him his flowers.
Give him his flowers. Now, Niral, before you got with Ilias and TCC and everything, how long have you been rapping before you made the push to take this serious, or have you always been taking this serious?
I would say for sure I didn't take it serious at first. I was on Snapchat just messing around. So I was posting since summer the year before. So I would say summer of 2022 I was posting songs and freestyles and stuff. So during that time, I was working at my business, and working at the store, and I didn't see that as a place where that would be my goal and long-term goal of just working at a store and being a businessman, because I feel like it always helped me find my passion in music. And once I found my passion in music, I know that if I'm dedicated to something, I put my all into it. So I definitely took advantage of the connections I have and just all of that and made the most out of it. And I would say a lot of people are saying I'm breaking stereotypes, which is true. I'm an Indian rapper.
Right.
There's not many of them, just Nav. But for example, I would say me, Phil, and Ilias are good examples of people that are trying to become something. And people look at us now as he's made it, but we feel we're not content. We just want more and more. And we're at the end of the day, we are just regular people. We have big goals, and we're just working every day and attaining them.
Right. I feel that too, man. But now, when it comes to how you view your work and everything, and how you guys take it serious, on the flip side, and how you said people are surprised, do you feel like you guys are the unicorns of your generation, or are people in our group? So when it comes to taking work serious, because on the previous podcast, my mom also said that she feels that our generation doesn't want to work. So do you feel like that's kind of true?
100%, dude.
Okay.
I come from immigrant parents. I barely would see my dad when I would come home, but I knew that no matter what, my dad was working his ass off. And I think, they have immigrant parents as well. And that's not to say that if you don't have immigrant parents, you can't work hard. But I think when you are an immigrant, you come to this country, you have no choice but to work hard. And a lot of the times, if your immigrant parents worked hard enough, then maybe the kids won't have to work as hard, because that's the whole point, right? When I have kids one day, if I'm working as hard as I'm working, would I want them to, couch surf and work, 70s, 80, whatever type of hours a week? I don't think I would want that. So I think that that's how it is. But I think the biggest issue is that obviously there was like hustle culture where people were like, you have to work, you have to do this, you have to work till your fingers bleed. No, you don't have to do that. But you do have to work hard to get what you want. Things are not going to be handed to you in this world. And I've been doing this for almost 6-7 years now. And I remember for at least like a good 2-3 years in the beginning, I was like, I can't wait for somebody to come in and everything's just going to be handed to me. And when I make it, like it's all going to be given to me. But even to this day, nothing that comes our way is just given. You have to earn every single thing you do in life, even if you prepare or, no matter how much you think you've made or whatever you've done in your field of success, I think no matter what, you always have to work for something. And yeah, I think a lot of people, and I'm curious to see what you think about it too. I know you have a lot to chime in, but
yeah, I mean, it's not something I really think about too often, but you definitely you hit it right on the spot. It's like, if you're coming from like immigrant parents, then you just have that incentive and drive to work hard because you see your parents working hard. They didn't have the opportunities that we have right now. So it's just on us to take advantage and use that as leverage to really just go above and beyond. And it's, to me, it's always important that you love what you do, because then you're never going to be successful. You're never going to have that drive if you don't love what you do. You're going to feel stagnant. I just see so many people in my generation kind of in this trap. They have all these ideas, they have all these dreams and goals that are kind of out the ordinary of just a regular 9-to-5. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with
there's nothing wrong with working 9-to-5,
but what I see it happen a lot is that they'll kind of get a 9-to-5 job because, let's say, someone wants to become an artist and their paintings don't take off, they don't sell $100 per piece, so they work a 9-to-5 job and they kind of get too comfortable, they get too stagnant where they kind of forget what they wanted to do in the first place. And then it gets to a point where they're 30 and 40 or 50, and maybe they'll have that dreaded midlife crisis, be like, well, damn, where would my life be if I took my painting, my art seriously?
Right.
And it's just a full they live a life of regret. So I never want that to be me. So that's
I think a lot of people also say that they're gonna do something that they will never do either. Because when you go on social media, it's easy to compare yourself to other people, and there's big influencers, people that dude, they're 22 years old and they're opening up $1 billion company, or they're doing all this stuff. And in a way, you kind of feel self-conscious about that. And you're like, well, I need to dream big. I need to be doing these types of things. I need to put that out there. And sometimes I think one of the biggest issues is not only are people not working as hard as they used to, I think people also aren't keeping their word like they used to as well. So and maybe I'm generalizing here, but from our parents' generation, right? If my dad says he's going to do something, he rarely ever says he's going to do something. But if he does say he's going to do it, he will do it.
Yeah, exactly.
And maybe I'm wrong, but the people we're around, dude, I'm guilty of it too. Sometimes I say I'm going to do something and I don't do it. I try to be on top of it, but I think another issue is if you're not truly committed to the idea and going to do it, don't say you are, and tell other people about it, because sometimes when you put it out there, it can hold it back from you as well. So, I mean, for you, example, with the podcast, you told me about this a couple months ago, but you did it. You kept your word.
It took a lot because I was waiting on funding, and I was trying to see if I can get, some funds or whatever.
Yeah, it's hard.
Wells Fargo. I didn't see a lot of things in place. I had to get some, donations and stuff.
I bet.
But once I got all this, bro, I'm ready to go. I don't care. I'll put in the work.
Because people will say they'll start something, but they don't know what comes with that. And so, it's a lot to ask for. So. First off, I commend you for it. That's the first thing I said to you when I saw you outside. That was one thing I respected about Niral too. He told me, he was like, yeah, I'm going to make music. I connect him with this one guy and I'm just doing my own thing. I hear he's dropping 4 songs with him. He's working with this marketing guy. He's working with Phil now. He's doing music. I'm like, dude. So, it was rare to see that. And I was like, I commend him for that. So there's a lot of respect that goes his way. And he only started this year. It goes to show that when you really commit to something, you put the work in. It's not hard to see results as long as you're willing to see it through.
Exactly. Even though I toyed with TikTok. I remember I used to do TikTok. I did that for 2.5 years. I popped off and had 32K with that. Exactly. I was consistent. I was uploading 3 to 5 videos a day. But then I was like, there's too many eyes on me. And I got uncomfortable. But I was naive and young early on because I was 19. It was pre-Rona too. So I was young in the game. But now that I look back, I wish I would have stayed on top of it. Because now I'm at the age where I can handle sponsorship. I can, create connections and stuff. I can talk to you guys about whatever you guys got going on for the future. But now I got to start from ground zero with this, which is no problem. It's all a learning experience, and I love to learn, which is why I started this podcast. I want to learn and grow from you guys and anybody who's watching this.
And you've done it before. You know what it takes to build something from zero.
Exactly. I have no problem with it. But what's your take on thinking our generation doesn't want to work or put in the work in?
I think going back, like that question is a good question. And your question before, I'll say going back to the unicorn question, I do think in a way, like we're regular people, but obviously we're unicorns in the sense of we all are putting, like we are the people that are saying what they will do and do it. Like we will actually do it. I've seen Ilias, I've seen Phil like talk about things and they'll put into plan. Mm-hmm. Same as me and you as well. You made this podcast, right? And we all came from like the same area, same high schools. But at the end of the day, like I do think, going back to this question right now, that I do think that this generation kind of is more, I wouldn't say spoiled, but a little more like they take things for granted, I would say. And
I can see that.
Like us, for example, we're not those type of people, but I've seen it out there, and I've been one of those people where, you know, like I have parents that are successful and wealthy, mm-hmm. and I was always feeling that like part of back in my mind, I was thinking, how can I like attain the same level of success as them? Because mm-hmm. I don't want to be one of those kids that just leech off their like parents, you know.
Exactly.
Like,
I can.
All that.
Yeah.
So I definitely, after starting the business, my family's into business. We all have businesses. Mm-hmm. I wanted to be unique and be something different. So artists, this all came in a good timing. That me and Ilias got connected. He connected me to Phil, and from here, I feel like we're like a unit, like a team. That's just trying to get better every day.
That's right. I like the sound of that. But all right, what do you guys have planned for the future, or like this upcoming year for 2024? What do you guys have planned for TCC, or what do you have planned for your music stuff? Anything, any tracks or anything?
I guess for TCC, I mean, we want to bring the festival back in DC. We haven't done that in a while. It's not going to be a festival on an island. You know, it's not Firefest. It's just like 1,000-person venue in DC with just a bunch of local artists. It's super attainable. And I want to do that around like my birthday time. We're trying to set it up now and get some like clothing vendors involved. And then obviously we want to build more of like a community with TCC, because I was away. I was living in California for like a year and a half and working with stuff over there. And he was out here. So like we built this whole base out in Richmond for like 4.5, 5 years. Right. And then everybody on the team kind of just split off. And so although we were growing virtually, like I think it's also important to have like the community aspect in person. And we're still planning right now. We don't have the answer to that yet. And there's stuff that he also wants to work on, like research-wise for TCC, and start like his own research firm. So that I'll let him get into. But
yeah, pretty much everything that like he had mentioned. But like I mentioned before, you know, just coming up with like data-driven strategies and new ways of innovative, creative, content-wise. To kind of like elevate the brand, push the brand forward, and engage the community, and just come up with like different ways that like I myself can like keep myself busy, right. Create new forms of content, reach out to like more like local artists and creatives, see what I can do for them, and yeah, just keep it going. I always just want to like keep it elevating. Like I always want to do like 1% better than every single day. So that's kind of where I'm at.
I like the sound of that. What about you, Niral? What do you got planned for 2024?
So 2024, in February 7th, I have a music video dropping. It's called the song's called Drop 100. It's with Fat Joe's song Mariso Ballad. Ooh. And Young Smiles, an artist in Florida. So that was a project we're working on in the next 2 months. So that's something I'm looking forward to. After that, I definitely want to just keep making music, just invest in myself, and like hopefully I do have a record label deal with Blank Canvas. I want to see where that leads me and how that goes. But
now, would you ever make a track with Young Simo?
That's you, isn't it?
Nah, it's Ian. You remember Ian?
Yeah. He had the John Wall.
Yeah,
that was fire.
Would you ever make a track with Young Simo?
I wouldn't mind. I mean, yeah. If we got connected, like, you have his number. I don't have his number.
I got his Snapchat. That's all. And his Instagram, but that's about it.
Yeah, I mean,
but if you guys actually do the festival in DC, I take pictures. And that's why I also have this camera. I take pictures for my girlfriend's volleyball team, travel league team, and I'm starting to do basketball as well. So any pictures that y'all need, I got y'all. I'm free.
You got
on
media passes. There you go.
Exactly. Like, I love photography, and when I do it, I see it as I put myself in their shoes. When I played basketball at Rockridge, I always wanted someone to take pictures of me. So when I do it for them, I always try to capture what they would want, or like what I would want, basically. Or like I would try to rep myself, in a good light, or try to separate myself from other photographers, because media is just, especially in Prince William, it's huge. They actually made it impossible for regular people to take pictures. Like, I have to have a media pass even from shooting in the stands. It's ridiculous, but media has gotten so out of hand for high school, at least.
Well, yeah, we'll get you media passes when we do the event. It'll probably be around like April time.
That's no problem.
I want to do it around like my birthday.
I will say also that I wish there was someone to take videos and pictures of Tony, because you were good at basketball, bro. Like,
Bruh.
You were good. So I wish there was. And that's dope that you're doing it for other people, because you never had that for yourself. Like, that's a cool concept. And I do see you post on IG like here and there about like the pictures. I see them.
Oh yeah, I actually have my I actually follow TCC through my my photography page, the Düsse Dialogue.
He's the one who does all the postings. He's been doing it for a couple of years.
Bro, I watch all of them, bro. Every time I go over them, like, geez, those guys.
Yeah, I think I just followed you back too.
That's tough, because I support my man, of course, but when what y'all have is going on, it's so great. It's like, there's no reason y'all want to be on no World Star hip hop level. I don't see a reason why y'all wouldn't get there.
Yeah.
Like, it's really good. So like how I see it when I scroll through my feed, they're identical.
Yeah.
It's just y'all just started so like just now and
later,
whatever.
yeah. It's a long journey too. I'm sure World Star, I think, started in like early 2000s.
Yeah.
And they became really big in like 2014, 15.
Like the 2010s,
for us,
yeah.
We started 2017. Yeah. Like your mom was saying too, like, people don't work hard. We're not going to get this overnight. We're not going to get in 3 years. It's not going to be 4 years. It might be 10, 12 years, but we'll be there.
Yeah. I also want TCC to be its own identity. Like, I don't want it to just be like another World Star Rap TV or like Our Generation. Nothing against those blogs, but like, I kind of just want it to be its own entity, and not just like be another page that just boasts viral like rap news that like Krishan Rock stuff. Like, no, I don't care about that stuff, but kind of just things that are like high qualities, things that people will care about, and that would engage the community, because we're all getting older. Now my content selection has changed a lot, because now I want it to be a bit more mature, be a bit more like I said, high quality, and not just post things just views and clicks. That's just kind of where I'm at. I'm all about authenticity. So
yeah, that's where I'm at with social media too. Because when I scroll through, of course, I love the occasional memes and whatnot. I need my humor. Yeah. But when it comes to the society and the stuff that we start indulging from other humans and stuff, it's toxic. I can't take a lot of that stuff, 24/7. Yeah. So I'd rather if I'm gonna doom scroll, I'm gonna doom scroll and learn. I'm gonna doom scroll and get some good content. That's why I scroll through you guys, is because it's not like bullshit, it's literally okay. Yeah.
You want to be intentional with social media. That's one thing I'm big on too. I think if people look at me from the outside looking, they probably think I'm obsessed with it. I care about that drama. I really don't. I use it as a tool to network and meet people and constantly message people, because I think it's a tool to help you elevate yourself. I met one of my mentors. His name is Rio, and he changed my life a lot when I was out in LA. And I met him through LinkedIn. I just DM'd him on LinkedIn. I wanted to apply to work at some of the record labels out there. I saw that he had worked at O3 and he'd been in the industry for 40, 50 years. I reached out to him on LinkedIn, and, I got connected with him. That's all through social media. You trust me, there is a lot of negativity and there is a lot of drama that comes with it. But bro, if you use it the right way, as cliche as it sounds, it's a tool. It could help you out drastically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I try to use social media, but that's why I'm trying to get connected with you guys, especially after this podcast or whatever, because when I start in this YouTube stuff, I got to know when to post, how to market myself. All I know is, I can use TikTok, Spotify for the audio files, whatever.
Sounds like you need a consultation with him.
Yeah, because it sounds like I can just splurge, but it's not like it's effective,
Yeah.
So I got to be, in what you said, intentional.
Yeah.
So that's what I got to start doing. Thank you for pointing that out, your boy.
Yeah. Of course.
He lives out in Florida. My man Jay, he went to FIU. He did the whole filming, shooting for the school, and he also cheered there. But he's the one who actually put me onto this camera, the whole editing stuff. Oh, I also have an editing software that's AI, Autopod, cuts everything up.
Oh, I've seen that.
Yeah.
I would love to see that in action. How much do you pay?
Like $29 a month.
20. Okay, nice.
Yeah, this is not bad because I had my first 2 episodes were like an hour, cut everything up in like 5 minutes. No more than that.
Use Opus clips as well if you want to.
Yeah,
make,
I heard
TikTok
about
clips.
that.
Yeah,
I heard about that. So let's get into sports. Who we got? All right. You know about the hip drop tackle? You know what that is or whatever? It just got banned or like it's starting to get looked at.
Because of Tom Brady, didn't he say something about it? Or am I thinking about the other tackle?
Nah, I think that was
It's like the way that they're tackling is getting a lot of people injured.
Yeah, like that's how Mark Andrews got hurt. Yeah. Like how do you feel about when they're starting to overlook tackles, or do you think they're looking into tackles too much? Because it is a contact sport. You can't flag someone for some type of hit. You got to tackle the dude.
I think Tom Brady said this, and I played football as well. I was ass though. Like this is when I was short. I was chubby back then. I wish I honestly had a growth spurt before high school so I could have played football. But my experience of football, I was terrible at it. But I would tend to side with the people who are like very experienced with it. Tom Brady himself said like it's not about the way that you tackle. It's the way as a quarterback how you're throwing the ball.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a lot of quarterbacks now. He's saying they're throwing it in a way where you're putting the receiver or the running back in a position where they could be vulnerable to like a hip drop tackle and get injured. So I think if you're throwing the ball the right way and only in places where they're safe, I feel like you're not going to get injured as much. But obviously it's a game where you can't really expect things. But I'm going to side with Tom Brady on this one, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I feel it. How about you? Do you feel like when it comes to tackles or like protecting players, do you think the officials or at least the NFL as an organization has been overstepping or just taking things too serious?
I think their intentions are good in a way where they're trying to look out for players after retirement and just like in general their health. The one tackle I don't like is when they do the helmet, so like the knee or something. I think they banned that too.
Oh, the cutting joint.
Yeah, they banned that already. So like that was one where I thought that was right of them to have a ban on that. But as far as like this new one, I mean, sometimes it could be subjective. Like whatever the official is thinking at that very moment, he'll say something, and then that could like change the game. Let's say like the one team has momentum, and then the official thinks like, oh, on this day when you think it's this, and then it could affect the way the game goes. So.
Right.
But yeah.
So you guys are Commanders fans, right?
Oh no, bro.
You're a Commanders fan. You're a Commanders fan.
I was a Giants fan, but I haven't been a fan of them in like the past couple of years. I just watch to watch. I would say maybe my favorite team is who do I like watching the most?
You say you like the Texans.
Yeah, the Texans were cool, but then CJ Stroud is out.
Yeah,
but I'm a real big fan of him. I think he's going to be real nice. I was watching him early on in the season. Unfortunately, he got injured. Say Texans. I like Tank Dell as well. Those two.
I will say my favorite team's Commanders, but my favorite player is Saquon Barkley on the Giants. It doesn't make sense because they're the rival teams. But I watched Saquon Barkley play in college. I used to go to Penn State.
Remember that? That's so lucky. Brandon Polk. Kyle Polk. Yeah. I grew up with him, and I think Brandon was his roommate or suite mate with Saquon. Since they actually played together, of course.
They played together,
yeah. I don't know why Brandon. He actually got picked up by the Rams.
Oh, he did.
He went undrafted, but then now he plays over in Germany. But he's actually making money moves too.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, hella money moves.
Yeah.
Kyle used to make music. If he's watching this one day.
Kyle?
Yeah, Kyle was making music together, bro. That would be fire.
Bro, I haven't seen Kyle in so long. Jesus Christ. Let's see what kind of games that we got going on today. You guys into betting or?
Not really. No.
Not really?
I used to years ago, not really now.
I respect it though. I only try to do it to match like my paycheck or whatever so I can put it on my rent because I'm only throwing $10 down at most.
Yeah.
So it's nothing too hasty. Oh shit, we got the Bengals and Steelers. Joe Burrow's out, and then I think Trubisky is throwing for the Steelers.
I don't know how I feel about Trubisky, but I know that backup on the Bengals has actually been playing really good. I watched
he did his due.
Yeah, I watched like an analysis video from That's Good Sports like a couple days ago. I forgot his name, but he's number 6. But dude, he's been playing really, really well. He's turned around a couple drives, and I mean, I don't know. I think the Bengals have this in them. They have a good team, and I think right now they're playing a lot better than the Steelers are.
Right. Yeah, they is 8-6. Steelers 7-7.
Yeah, so.
And we got the Bills. Bills about to spank the Chargers.
Yeah.
They got the Browns and Texans.
Yeah, Herbert's out, right?
Yeah. You get the season ending.
Yeah,
he needs a new team, bro.
Yeah, he's too good for him.
He needs to go to the Falcons or something.
All right, you say Falcons. Where do you think he should go?
That's a good question. Come to the Commanders.
Come to the Commanders.
Yeah, come to the Commanders.
The Jets.
We could use you.
The Jets.
The Jets have good talent around them.
I mean, they already got like A-Rod, and like he's like been training to get back on the field.
And he is about to be like.
Well, he's probably got like 2 more years left in him.
Yeah, I mean, he's kind of washed, but we'll see how he goes.
So give up Zach Wilson and who else?
No, give up Zach Wilson and Aaron Rodgers
for Herbert and throw him on the Chargers.
Yeah, that shit would be fire.
Ooh.
That's a franchise quarterback right there. You got a bunch of young talent around you. You got a really good team, and that's a big name city. That'd be perfect for his career.
Now, where does that leave Keenan Allen and Austin Eckler?
They got Aaron Rodgers. For 2-3 years,
for 2 or 3 years. Well, hopefully Eckler can get moved on from the Chargers because he's been really getting shit on over there. He hasn't been getting treated nicely with running yards or whatever. He's been trying, but he's been he's like the runt of the Chargers offense, like low key.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of the Commanders and Jets, they actually played this weekend. Who gonna win?
The Jets.
You think so?
Wait, no. You saying they're playing the Jets?
Yeah, Commanders v Jets this Sunday.
I mean, they're both kind of garbage. So it's a mid-off for real.
All right.
I think the Jets are going to win that.
Yeah, probably.
They do have a solid defense.
Yeah, really good defense.
How do y'all give up Chase Young and Sweat?
Bro, like the 49ers are so OP, like, bro.
Oh, yeah, bro.
Like, they got Bosa, they got Young.
That's ridiculous. But how do y'all feel about Brock Purdy, though? Because I feel like if anybody else is with that offense, they would probably do as good, maybe even better than Brock Purdy. So I don't understand why.
Why didn't Jimmy Garoppolo do as well?
I'm not a 49ers. I'm not a 49ers fan. I don't watch.
You get what I'm saying? Because he had that same team. He didn't go too well for him, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people are saying he's a system quarterback, though.
I saw that.
Now, I ain't like a quarterback coach. I don't know what that means. Do y'all?
Isn't every quarterback assistant quarterback
to a T? Kind of. Gotta learn.
Because they call them like game managers versus like athletes or whatever. That's like the 2 different types of quarterbacks. Somebody who makes something happen while like running around like a Pat Mahomes. You give him the ball, he's gonna run around like 10 yards all over the place, and he's gonna throw something, just somehow magically scores a touchdown. But then there's the quarterbacks like the Mac Jones where they fall under like Bill Belichick's system. Right. And he's just setting up certain plays for them. You're just like a game manager. Like you're handing the ball to, you know what I'm saying? Like,
is that why you think Cam Newton didn't do as good as you thought, or you think when he was at the Patriots? Because he was good on the Panthers,
but he can't be contained.
Yeah,
exactly.
But I think he's not like as young as he used to be either. Cam's one of my favorite players, like of all time. I think what he did for the league was super dope, and it was so fun to watch him. But like when he was younger, he was able to be like electric, run around the field, make those throws that you usually don't make. But since he's injured now, he's probably also a little bit less confident with certain throws, as you get when you get older. You know what I'm saying? And I think, when you put him under a system where he needs to be contained, I don't think it works well. But even if you were to put him in like his own world or let him do whatever he wants, I just don't think he has that ability like he used to. And I might be wrong. I'm a big fan of Cam Newton. I would love to see him come back.
Oh, yeah.
I think it would be dope to see him on the Commanders. I was telling him that a while ago. Or even like the Falcons.
Yeah. Ooh, that
Cam
would be
Newton on the Falcons. He lives in Atlanta. I mean, that would be massive.
Ooh. What about Kaepernick? How do y'all feel about Kaepernick? Do you think he should? I heard that he's got like a check from either NFL or Nike to like, talk about coming back, but not really gonna come back.
Yeah, I don't think he's. I think it should have happened like a long time ago.
Right.
Like, if it hasn't happened, like then that's not gonna happen anytime soon.
Mm-hmm.
And you already know, like, the NFL, they're like a fairly conservative league. It's gonna be like a very, like, he's really bad PR to them. Like, he's
Right.
like, if it was the NBA, then like, they treat him like a hero. They'll be like, yo, like, they fight for him. But like, because the NFL is like, like I said, like they're fairly conservative. They don't want him.
Mm-hmm. I feel that.
Yeah.
Speaking of talking about how if there was the NBA, they would fight for him.
Yeah.
How did y'all feel when the WNBA gave up the Merchant of Death for Brittany Griner?
Ooh.
What a wild question. I can't believe we're here.
That's crazy.
Phil, I'm gonna let you take this, bro.
I mean, don't give it to me. Like, I don't want to.
I mean, personally,
it's all you,
player. To me personally, I think it was BS. Like, we have to think. Like, we're talking about, of course, give Brittany her props or whatever, but she's an entertainer at the end of the day. She's there to, like, give us, entertainment or whatever. She has no, I'm probably going to sound terrible, but she has no direct input into society and, making it go forward. Holding someone who supplies, hate groups or whatever with, arms or whatever, that is
a ridiculous trade if you really think about it. I feel like there may have been a better way they could have went around it and made everybody happy, but
she was going through hell though at the Russian prison.
We had a Marine over there too.
We did. I did see. I forgot what his name was, and a lot of people were upset that we weren't able to bring him over. I did see that,
but we wanted to show. I don't know what motive it was. It's kind of like, we're making ourselves like okay by saying like, oh yeah, of course we support the LGBTQ whatever, but we made ourselves look like a joke to the rest of the world.
Yeah,
I think it's because in America, like, entertainment is like a huge deal. You know how like everybody here will like care more about like an influencer down the street posting something. We're very caught up in that type of lifestyle, and because it's fun to watch, like we said, like, yeah, sure, it might be toxic, it might be dramatic, but you can't help but look. If you're going to go down this street, there was this great example brought up to me by one of my mentors like a year ago. He's like, the way that the world works is that if you were to go down the street and on the left side there was like an old man helping out somebody cross the road, or on the right side of the street there was two dudes fighting and they're just beating the shit out of each other. What are you going to watch? Everybody's going to watch the fight.
Right.
Nobody's going to watch the guy being like an outstanding citizen and doing good for the world. You're going to watch the two people doing some dramatic shit. And that's just how it works. And I think with this specific scenario too, it's like because there was so much backlash and like people were fighting for her to be free, I feel like maybe the government almost had some sort of responsibility where they had to bring her back, or America would have looked like it lost. So they were like, by any means necessary, we'll do it. I might be wrong. I'm just thinking about how they might have done it. Like, for example, not to say that another person's life is above another's, but if you're somebody who's really well known, like let's say Leonardo DiCaprio is like stranded and the Russian military like kidnapped him, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Is America going to care more about Leonardo DiCaprio getting taken, or are they going to care more about like a firefighter who did a lot of good stuff for his community? They're going to care about the person that's more well known. That's just how it works.
A lot of people were making comparisons like, oh, if it was LeBron, they would like get him over within a day. Like, no, they would get him free in like within a day.
See, it's like a scale. It's all depending on like how well known you are. Because even for like America, you're right. They could have went about it in a different way. But there were a lot of people who were causing like an uproar about it. And they're like, you have to bring her back.
Yeah.
And I feel like they had no choice, and that's just all it was.
Yeah.
That's what I'm not okay with. It's just like the masses that, that take control and make decisions on things that they have no business on. To be honest, the government should have never gotten involved. She's over there playing basketball. You made the mistake of carrying whatever THC crap. That sounds like a human mistake, as most people do if they go to the airport with whatever and get caught. She did her shit, and now you have to get in a Russian prison. It sucks that you're in a Russian prison, but that's reality. If I did that shit in the U.S., I'd probably get sent to Rikers just because of my, vape probably looks like a bomb or some shit.
Sheesh.
But nobody's going to talk about, oh, bring Anthony home. He ain't do nothing. They going to tell me you're stupid. You know better not to take THC to the airport. So why the fuck are we doing this type of shit? Making ourselves look stupid for real.
Yeah, talk your shit, King.
Like, come on, bro. Like, y'all really stupid. The masses is making us look stupid. Like, we're not even a powerhouse anymore as a country. We're like number 3 in smarts. Like, do y'all's research. Like, y'all really think we're the greatest, bro? Like I do my research a lot. Like when I doom scroll and see all the stupidity shit, and it sees all them likes, all y'all look stupid liking that dumb shit. Like I don't understand. I really don't. Like I said,
You got me crying.
Like I'm a man of gain. Like what do I gain by like I follow certain celebrities, right?
Yeah.
But they're for certain shit. I follow Grant Cardone, what's his name? Andy Frisella.
The gurus.
Exactly, to learn. But what do I get from following Drake? What?
Good music.
That's gonna entertain me for 35 minutes. Did he teach me how to do real estate? Did he teach me how to start financial freedom? Now he taught me how to gamble and blow my money away though on stream. I learned how to do that. That's what I'm saying. Like y'all are so in deep with these this celebrity bullshit on social media, leaving comments that have no effect on their lives. Y'all are literally arguing in the comments, thinking that y'all opinions fucking matter when they're just eating y'all shit up. Like, yeah, need this engagement.
They're the sheep of the matrix.
Exactly. And the thing is, I can't do anything about it because my opinion also doesn't matter to them because they can just throw my thought back on me and be like, your shit doesn't matter either. I'm like, all right, bro. I'm just trying to help and make you because I don't really stress about other shit. That's why I probably look young as hell. Hey, man. I don't worry about a lot of shit. I only worry about what's in my 6-foot wingspan.
So what do you think you're going to do for 2024? Bro, you got me crying, bro. That rant was hilarious.
What I'm going to do
for 2024? Like, because we were talking earlier about, like, intention with social media, right? You obviously don't like the bullshit. You don't, I don't know if I should be cursing. You obviously don't
I can
like the
bleep
BS.
it out. TOS is cool with the cursing. You just can't say the F word too many times.
Well, you're cool. I mean, you obviously don't want to deal with the BS. You want to use social media with intention. What are you planning on doing to like be a part of that? Because like one of the things we could do is like we could sit here and bash on it, which we can. But, like the better thing to also do for us too is like what you're doing with your podcast. Like you're using it the right way. What are some other ways that you're gonna do to make sure that you're pushing forward with it? Like on the way. I
always self-invest. Every day, no matter when it comes to photography, podcast or whatever. I talk to my bro Jay. I tap in with him about editing, how I can learn, because I want to be able to do this stuff myself. So that's my goal in 2024. I want to be able to stop reaching out. Of course, I'm going to reach out for like to learn and whatever, but I want to be able to do this shit myself. So that's my goal by 2024. I want to be able to create my own thumbnail, create my own, 3D illustration joint to, introduce my podcast type shit, make my, the letters on my logo dance around and stuff. I want to real life learn how to animate and do all this computer stuff, but also do podcasts. So I'm learning technology, English, what is it called? What's that joint called? The English class or
engineering, software engineering?
Not journalism. It's like journalism. I want to learn that. So because I really like storytelling, but there's one version through words and there's another through pictures, and I'm also doing that through photography. But I also want to, I was never really good at writing or whatever, but I also want to be able to do that as well.
That's a good trait to have, to definitely learn and more. Because there's like two types of people. One person would rather have a fisherman fish for him, or the second person would want to learn how to fish so he can provide for himself, Like, I can see that in you that you want to learn.
There's no reason why people don't want to learn, or I don't know how people can get complacent. Like, I don't understand that. It's like you get to somewhere in life and you just plateau. How do you not feel the urge or get the need of
keep wanting to do better?
Exactly.
It's easy to get comfortable though. I think this is what he was talking about earlier. Like, bro, like I don't blame the person who gets out of college and makes 150 grand and he's like, man, screw my music career. I'm making 150K just doing this, and they're happy. And I think it's sometimes like I get where you're coming from, but it's like okay, let those people be contented if they want to be comfortable.
Everyone's circumstances are different. Like, they got like families to feed. Like they got bills to pay. They got a lot of expenses that they got to pay off. That their film career might not pay off in the moment, and that's just a reality.
You get trapped in it, and it's not even sometimes because you want to, but it's because you have like no choice. Your bills are piling up and you have to pay your bills. You can't just quit your corporate job for like 4 months and be like, you know what? I'm going to go make paintings out of sticky notes and Sharpies. And so it's like, it's just not possible.
That's why it's like after you get out of college, like it's important that you save up as much as possible and you learn more about financial education. If you want live at home, live with your parents for like, first few years. That's as long as you like it.
Yeah.
Like, don't get caught up in that cycle of like, just like going out and like, spending hundreds of dollars on like, bottles and tables at like clubs, eating out, buying fancy clothes, buying a new car. Like, if you don't need it in that very moment, if you could live without it, then just like don't buy it, live at home, rack up as much as you can. And then like, once you get to your like late 20s, like, let's say that like, oh, I don't want to do this anymore. Like, you got your savings, you got your investments, you got your cash flow coming in from your investment portfolio. Like, let's say, okay, like, I'm going to take a break. I'm going to work on this for about like, 6 months to a year. If it takes off, then great. If I don't, then, I have this experience. I got these connections. Let me work another job, like worst case scenario. Like, that's something that I wish I feel like I would have known like right after college. Just like maybe like took the liberty, because when I got out of college, like I kind of just went ahead, bought my own like apartment, just lived on my own, was just traveling all the time. And don't get me wrong, I'm grateful for that experience, but then like now looking back at it, like, I could have definitely like been smarter with how I like spent money at the time. So yeah, that's where I stand on that.
For me personally, when I first graduated, it only took me 6 months to find a job. But even growing up, I was never really the going out type of person. Yeah. So my whole lifestyle growing up with other kids and stuff, if you ask them about what they did on a Friday night, oh, they went to the football game, whatever, the high school football game, went out to a Red Robin afterwards or whatever. If you ask me, I went home right after school and played video games. I've been on, the same mentality that I'm on right now ever since I left, Rockridge. That's why I say I don't understand. And I understand there's different situations why people get complacent. But, like, even if you want to stay at your 9-to-5 job, how do you not want to, like, move on from there? And you can stay there. I don't know how you can't, want to improve on yourself, or like self-invest in a way at least.
I think I might have the answer to this. I remember when I was younger, I didn't think I was able to do certain things because the people that were around me weren't doing those types of things. So I actually got motivated because like I was around people who were 17 years old that became millionaires. And that's not because I was staying in my hometown or I went to go to my cousin's city. There's none of those types of people there. And when I went to conventions or when I went to events and I put myself out there, when you're able to see that somebody else can do what you want to do, it kind of makes it a little bit more realistic for you. Because growing up, I was like, I can't do any of this stuff that I'm doing now. It's not possible for me to do it. But as I spent a time around more people, and especially when I was in California, I'm so glad that I went there for a year and a half, because now the mentality that I have is that it's almost to a point where it's like delusional. Because like I've seen people that are like 21 years old living in like a mansion in Beverly Hills.
Right.
And no shade to those guys, but they're no smarter than me or you guys. They just got lucky and they were in the right place. And the most important thing is that they had a sense of belief. Like people sometimes confuse the fact that like if you're super intelligent, you have to make a lot of money. I know a lot of smart people that are not making a lot of money. Sometimes you have to be dumb enough to think you can make it and to think that you're the one who's, able to do something. Because if you're too smart about something, you'll look at a situation, you'll be like, oh, well, this can't work because of this and this. Yeah. And right now it's not possible. Bro, the way that I think now, if I want to do it, I'm going to go try it. I put myself in a position to where at least I can say that, hey, I have no regrets. I tried it. It didn't work for me. I was stupid. I should have never tried. But I'm going to go over here and focus on the things that do work for me, and I'm going to focus on that. And so I think sometimes it comes from like a lack of belief, to answer your question, or just like not seeing people around you. Like the reason why I'm motivated is because I've seen a lot of people around me who are, doing it at a high level. He's seen people who are doing it at a high level. Even for him with music, like Niral, let's be honest, like if you didn't see other people around you that were doing it, do you really think you would have been able to do it? No way. And like now he's around people that are doing it at a very, very high level. And sometimes you just have to ask yourself, like, why not me? Because these people are no different. They don't, even like, Drake and all these other people, they were regular people at one point in time. So, what's stopping them from being any different than us? Maybe I'm going off on a tangent, but that's just realistically how I feel.
You spending real shit, though. Spending real shit. All right, before we wrap this joint up, I wanted to bring back, it might be a little iffy prompt or whatever, but I brought it up to my Brody the other week. I told him that, like, nowadays, there's no such thing as racism, only ignorance, because we have the technology and we have the knowledge to learn from our mistakes, and to keep us from doing that or making racist remarks, racist crap or whatever, we can stop ourselves from doing that, but we choose not to. So that's why
you're saying there's no such thing because people have the ability to educate themselves on it. Wow, I've never heard that.
Exactly.
That is
there's
a
no
really
such
good take.
as like that. You're not racist. You're just fucking ignorant.
I feel like
my brody said it was 50-50. He saw what I was saying, but there's still like racist people out there because they're raised like that.
Despite knowing what is right and what's wrong, they'll still have their like firm beliefs in like whatever racist shit they're doing.
I think ignorance is
it is still a key of it.
Yeah. Ignorance is like rooted in racism. So like I wouldn't say that there's no such thing as racism, but
Mary Jane moments, just sat there on the deck and thought to myself, was like, when even Bill Nye, I uploaded a Bill Nye video. He was explaining race, throughout the countries, where the UV was the strongest, was where the people was the darkest, whatever. It's like, yeah, there's no such thing as race, but there kind of is because, facial features or whatever in a specific area, geographical area, whatever. But I understood where he was saying, like, when it comes to, like, skin tone, there's no races. So it's like, what are we really making fun, throwing slander at each other for? And what are we really getting out of it? That's what I'm trying to find out.
That's a good question.
Yeah, I've never heard that before. That's a unique take. I mean, I definitely think racism exists.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of what to say and put this into the right way. Yeah, I don't know.
I think, for example, like you were saying, like skin tones like is something people slander on. One thing that I've always wondered, like growing up, is like pets, for example. Like, there's a dog. It could be any color. Everyone's gonna think it's cute. But with humans, people like to just point out a different thing. Like, like I don't understand that part. Like,
not even gonna tell you, I'm guilty, but I'm not talking about like racism guilty. I'm talking about like I used to be intimidated by like dark skins in my community, not like physical community, but just like as in like African American, because I felt like they had something that I didn't like. When it came to like basketball, they always beat me, so I was like, dang, they got something over on me in basketball. Then when it came to the females, bitches always went for the dark skin. I'm like, damn, they got them too. So I was just cooler with the video games. I'm like, I really ain't got shit for myself. But I knew I was naive and stupid at that time, now that I'm thinking. But I was low-key intimidated just off of skin tone. I wasn't like, oh, I hate them because they leave no woman for me or whatever. I was just like, dang, they really got it like that and I don't. That's how I felt towards like when it came to like skin tone.
I think for me growing up as an Indian, it's kind of strange because like there's like racist remarks like that we get too, and it's very similar, like with African community, African American community, in the sense of like we're not the majority, we're the minority in a sense, and so I've experienced it too. But like I've always wondered like that thought of like why do humans treat humans differently than like they would do with their own like pets or dogs or cats or whatever, like I never understood it. But.
Yeah, and for the people who say I don't see race, I don't see color, bro, I can go somewhere. that is the most that's ignorant. Yeah, that is ignorant right there, because
everyone's different, and it's good to acknowledge everyone's different. Like
if I don't see race, I don't see your culture. That's basically what it's saying. I don't see what you represent.
Yeah,
diversity is a good thing. Like
I feel like there like might be some good intentions behind it, because I think they're trying to say it's like, oh, like I don't see you as different, like we're all human. I think that's like the intention.
Yeah.
But like I can see like why like it could rub people off the wrong way. Like it definitely rubs me off the wrong way. Yeah.
Well, that is it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for coming. Actually, thank you for originally this was supposed to be on Tuesday, Wednesday, and then